ahead of the public inquiry's final report next week. Jim Reid, BBC News.
And joining me now are Beatrice Morgan. She's part of the legal team at Leigh Day, who are currently investigating infected blood transfusion compensation claims. Also joining me is Alicia Samuels. She's the daughter of the Reverend Clifford Samuels, who received blood infected with hepatitis C via transfusion for an operation in 1974. He died from liver cancer in 2019. Thank you both very much for your time today. Alicia, if I can begin with you, tell us about your dad and when he discovered the news that he had been infected with hepatitis C.
My dad was like the most loving, kindest, giving person in the world to me. He always showed me unconditional love and was always giving. He would give you the shirt of his back. So he basically found out too late that he had hepatitis C because he would always go to the doctor and they would always make comments like, we see something in your blood, but we don't know what it is. And by the time they found out what was in his blood, which was hepatitis C, he had cirrhosis of the liver, which ultimately, his liver failed, which ultimately killed him with cancers and all of these other illnesses that this blood gave to him.
And when did you as a family understand what had happened and join the dots to this transfusion back in the 1970s?
So late. It was like 2018 by then.
Yeah, so just the year before your father passed away.
Exactly. Yeah. And I really tried to help him as far as he needed help because he couldn't do anything. And, they were helping certain families. But unfortunately, his medical records were tampered with. I was able to get a full file of his medical records. But when I went through, there was big gaps in his medical records.
Beatrice, let me bring you in. You're representing 300 individuals and indeed the Hepatitis C Trust. And sadly, I believe one of the people that you've been representing died just last week. What are the key things that this group of people want to see out of the inquiry?
A wide-ranging recommendations from the inquiry. It will be for the government to implement them eventually. But there are a number of findings a number of points that the chair will look at. It's not just how the infections happened in the first place. It's actually the response of government and health bodies after people were infected. And just as Alicia described, sadly, lots of people that had transfusions didn't find out until many, many years later, until they were really quite unwell and kind of too late to have any treatment. So what we're asking for are the support for people that are still living with the infection and their families, both in a financial sense, but also treatment for their physical and psychological difficulties.
And how would you describe the inquiry so far and the way it's been managed?
Well, it's obviously been very lengthy, but it's had to be because the evidence that it's considered is vast and spans many, many decades and has looked at lots of different government bodies and a whole range of health services. So generally, our clients, they are keen to see the end of it, to kind of close the door on that chapter. But they understand that it's needed to be as long as it has.
Alicia, let me come back to you. As a bereaved family member, what do you want to see as a result of this inquiry?
I just want, the evidence is out there that this has happened to so many families and it's affected so many people, not just, immediate family members, but also, just friends and also work relations. It's just such a bad experience. And I want justice. I want I want them to take this matter really serious, because we've lost people who we care about and we cannot get them back. So they have to take some sort of accountability, give us justice, whether it's like, and Beatrice said, like psychologically, because I'm still not over my father's death and it's been since 2019. Traumatized. Also my grandchild hasn't, my son hasn't seen his granddad. So, you know, I just want some justice for all of the people that have lost their family members, because you cannot get them back. And this is the least that they can do to support us in this situation.
And Alicia, to make sure, I would assume that something is taken from this that makes sure a huge scandal and tragedy like this cannot happen again.
Ever again. Like, this is outrageous. Like, this is crazy. It doesn't even feel real, but it is. It's reality. It's so shocking.
Okay, Alicia, we appreciate you talking to us. Alicia Samuels, who lost her dad, the Reverend Clifford Samuels, and also Beatrice Morgan from Lee Day, representing 300 individuals affected by the infected blood scandal. Thank you both very much for your time.